6-point win. Then the Bearcats just rolled past Richmond to get to the title game. Buffalo ended up losing to South Dakota State in that 5th-place game, while Richmond just lost to Louisiana in the 3rd-place game here at the Cayman Islands Classic. Mick Cronin in his 12th year with the Bearcats, and I tell you what, he's done an outstanding job. They went to the NCAA tournament last season. Again, I mentioned this is the 6th meeting between the two. The last time they played, it did not go well for Wyoming. A 50-point loss at Cincinnati, 101-51. That was back in 1995. Cincinnati, in fact, is 2-0 at home against the Cowboys. Ironically, the Cowboys have never lost to Cincinnati on neutral site games, which is, of course, this one here at the John Gray Gymnasium, a neutral site game. So hopefully the Cowboys can push their luck that direction. And they split with their games at Wyoming. Of course, everybody is telling me about the infamous game in which I'm trying to remember the whole story. I believe a guy was fouled on a three-pointer, something like that, or a three-pointer was hit at the buzzer. And the Cowboys ended up losing that game. I know everybody been wondering, and then as I look out here, and I kind of got wind of this but before we left for the gym, Justin James is not suited up. He's in his sweatpants, his Wyoming sweatpants and pullover jacket. So, I was told he may be a game-time decision. He is not in uniform right now and not warming up with the team after suffering that split lip. Contradictory reports on if it was stitches or they glued it back together, but they're not going to take a chance. It doesn't look like with Justin James not suited up. Now it's time to learn more about our opponent. As the mentioned, Cincinnati 12th in the country. They got wins over Buffalo and Richmond. Under Mick Cronin, they have been in 10 of these regular season tournaments. They have won 5 of these tournaments. They're looking for their 6th tournament championship win in 11 tournaments. They were founded in 1819. Their enrollment of just under 45,000 students. They play in the American Athletic Conference. They've gone to the NCAA tournament 31 times in their years, 2 national championships. So if you think about it, 3 national titles between the two programs here on the floor. They do average 91 points a game, so they can get up and score, but their schedule hasn't been that daunting. This will definitely be their toughest test of the season. They give up 59. We'll be back with the Cowboy Capsule. It's presented by Wyoming Community Gas. This is Wyoming basketball from Learfield.
Chances are there'll never be an emergency ever again. But just in case, let's talk about a plan.
Okay.
Who is going to grab the go bag?
What's a go bag? It is a bag we do not have that is filled with things we really, really need in an emergency.
Guess we won't have to worry about it then.
Well, this is great. I am so glad that we don't have a plan.
I know.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got a lot of food in this country. We've got so much food that we can't eat it all. So how are 17 million kids in America struggling with hunger? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids who need it. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is the Cowboy Capsule, an exclusive presentation of Wyoming Community Gas, sharing the warmth. In today's Time Capsule Uncovered, we go back to 1944. Stay tuned for the Cowboy Capsule. It's coming up next, right after this, from Wyoming Community Gas.
You see it all across Wyoming, how Wyoming Community Gas reinvests in the hometowns we serve through the Choice Gas program. From college scholarships in Torrington to car seats for kids in Casper, the hot pool in Saratoga to a hot meal for the hungry in Laramie. From Edgerton to Douglas, from Guernsey to Hannah, and about everywhere in between. After all, community is our middle name. Choose the competitive natural gas supplier that makes a difference in your hometown. Wyoming Community Gas, sharing the warmth.
The year was 1944. Cowboy Nation was still relishing a national championship. The Pokes had capped a magical season the year before by winning it all. The Wyoming Cowboys were the undisputed world champs, having won the NCAA title and then adding a win over the NIT champions to finish with a 31-2 final record. So the very next season after the marvelous run, just how would the Cowboys do in defense of their title? We'll never know. While Cowboy Nation was enjoying the spoils of a championship, the world was at war. These were the darkest hours of World War II. Wyoming did not field a team for the 1943-44 season. Many of Wyoming's returning lettermen were in uniform, fighting for their country. It's the only time in 113 years of Wyoming basketball history in which there was no Cowboy basketball. Back in 1944. The Cowboy Capsule has been brought to you by Wyoming Community Gas, sharing the warmth. Stay with us. The Cowboy pregame continues. This is Wyoming basketball from Learfield.
Looking for your Wyoming Cowboys basketball fix this season? Then search no further than the Casper Star-Tribune's Pokes Authority coverage. Whether it's in print, on Trib.com, or social media, the Casper Star-Tribune's Pokes Authority section brings you the most comprehensive coverage of the Cowboys all season long. Visit PokesAuthority.com, like our Pokes Authority Facebook page, and follow UW beat writer Brandon Foster on Twitter to be the first to know all the news about the Cowboys. Visit PokesAuthority.com for your Cowboy news and updates today.
Every day you get the most from your Loaf and Jug store. And with your King Soopers or Smith's loyalty card, you can instantly save up to $1 a gallon on gasoline. Pay at the pump or inside the store, and you always save 3 cents, up to $1 a gallon. So pile up the points when you shop King Soopers, Smith's, and at Loaf and Jug. And keep saving on gasoline the easy way. Loaf and Jug. Quality food, fuel, and customer service.
Don't you just love it? I love my Loaf and Jug, yeah.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Offense.
He's in!
Defense. It takes both to make a powerful Cowboy football team and a car care powerhouse. Plains Tire goes on the offense to save you money on tires. They scout the competition every day to make sure they have the lowest tire prices, period. Online or in store. They play strong defense, too, with expert service work to keep your vehicle at its best. Plains Tire, serving Wyoming since 1941, with stores all across the state. It's plainstire.com for tire and service reservations, and go, Pokes.
Football season is back. Time to break out the team colors and get your tailgate game on. But if your pregame involves alcohol, your postgame must include a sober, designated driver. I'm Mitch Unrein. I play defensive end for the UW Cowboys, and now I'm in the NFL. More than 1 million drunk driving arrests are made each year in the United States. Don't let your postgame end in jail, or worse. Make sure you and your friends have a safe ride home every time. Designate a sober driver for the win. A message from the Wyoming Governor's Council on Impaired Driving.
Welcome back to the Cowboy Tip-Off Show. I'm Keith Kelly. It is now time for the college basketball scoreboard. Give you a couple scores. At overtime, Tennessee upset 18th-ranked Purdue 78-75 in the battle for Atlantis. 5th-ranked Villanova over Western Kentucky 66-58. Also the battle for Atlantis. Number 11 Miami leading LaSalle 28-23. This has been the college basketball scoreboard. Next, we'll have a look around the Mountain West Conference. This is Wyoming basketball from Learfield.
Ridley's Family Markets is proud to be the official supermarket and tailgating headquarters of Poke fans. This season, Ridley's will be taking on hunger by donating $200 for every Wyoming Cowboys basketball win to Feeding America. With 6 locations across Wyoming and over 30 locations throughout the Mountain West area, Ridley's Family Markets is proud to be a sponsor of University of Wyoming Athletics.
The University Store is your home for officially licensed University of Wyoming gifts and apparel. Great selections of the latest cowboy and cowgirl gear from Under Armour and Nike. Find drinkware, fan supplies for game day, and more. There's something for every Wyoming fan at the University Store. Located in the Wyoming Union in the heart of campus. Open Monday through Friday and on game days until 30 minutes before kickoff. Always open online at uwyostore.com.
GreinerFord.com, a great place to start your next vehicle search, like a new F-150 or a roomy new Ford Escape. Find hundreds of new and used vehicles, all with multiple photos, low prices, tools like a payment calculator, and more. All at GreinerFord.com. And Greiner Ford, now powered by Lithia, is easy to find at 3333 CY Avenue across from the fairgrounds. Start your next vehicle search today, all at GreinerFord.com.
Canopy Airport Parking is proud to sponsor Wyoming Athletics. Canopy is the affordable choice for Premier Denver Airport parking and offers 3 levels, including open air, covered, and indoor valet, where you can pamper your car while you travel. Canopy is open 24/7, 365, and all customers enjoy car-side to curbside shuttle services. Canopy is LEED Gold certified and the first airport parking facility to be Green Garage certified. So when you travel out of DIA, you can park proud. Visit canopyairportparking.com/Wyoming for exclusive discounts.
Welcome back to the Cowboy Tip-Off Show. It is now time for Around the Mountain West Conference. 4 games, not including Wyoming, 5 games total in the Mountain West. Fresno State playing in the Cancun Challenge, leading George Mason 47-37 early in the second. Colorado State will play New Mexico State in Las Cruces. San Jose State will host Idaho State. And Utah will be at UNLV at the MGM Resort's main event. That is your look around the Mountain West. We'll be back with our pregame visit with Wyoming head coach Alan Edwards following these messages. This is Wyoming basketball from Learfield.
Oh, hi. Right now, I'm getting a remarkably heartfelt bear hug from Smokey Bear. Thanks, big guy. Now, if you could let me down. See, I made sure there were no low-hanging branches when I set up my campfire. And before we left, I drowned out my campfire, stirred it, drowned it out again, then made sure it was cold. Visit SmokeyBear.com to learn tips to prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm Little Teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and
pour me out. This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Cowboy basketball is brought to you by your Wyoming Ford stores, proud sponsors of Cowboy basketball. Built Ford tough and Wyoming strong. Premier Bone and Joint Centers, official team physicians for UW Athletics. We're worthy of Wyoming. Ridley's Family Markets, the official supermarket of Wyoming Athletics and Polk fans. And by State Farm. Get an agent that gets you at 1-800-STATE-FARM. Now, it's time for our pregame visit with head coach Alan Edwards. Here's Dave Walsh.
Well, Coach, here we are, final day of the Cayman Islands Classic, playing the 12th ranked team in the country in Cincinnati. And one thing that you get in these types of regular season tournaments, you get to see different teams that you normally wouldn't get to see. As a coach, you got to like that a little bit, right? To see some different foes and stuff like that, and the players probably like it as well.
Well, it's always exciting just to play against different types of opponents, and I thought we've had an opportunity to play against two good ones here and obviously going into a third one. But all of it to me chalks up at the end of the day is just gaining experience so that you can continue to improve in your pre-conference schedule to prepare you for conference season and overall, just get you better as a program.
We talked yesterday in the post game, and you'd mentioned about the depth of this team, and it really showed itself with JJ going out for the entire second half, and Hayden really, I want to say ineffective, but scoring-wise, he just wasn't there. I mean, what does that say about your depth and that you guys can win ball games like that with your so-called two best scorers not really having those big games like you're used to?
Well, I always like to say that we're a veteran group as well, and like to talk to our guys about having depth, and obviously when opportunity presents itself, be ready for it. And I thought Lou Adams did a great job being ready, and just getting Aka Gorski back proved well. Thought Al was consistent with protecting the rim on the defensive end, and I thought Nair's did a great job of steadying the ship and making free throws. So at the end of the day, it's good. And I joked with HD about the game and just saying, I finally had an opportunity to get him some rest. So which was probably much needed because we wore him out here the first few games, 40 minutes, and I think 37. So it was good for him to get a little bit of rest. And then obviously, JJ's situation was a little bit unfortunate for the game, but hopefully, to have both of those guys back tonight ready to go.
So I was going to ask, JJ should be good to go, or is it game time? I mean, what are you thinking there?
He should be fine. He met us back here. Obviously had to go to the hospital, but met us back here when we got back to have our meal after the game, and obviously everybody was checking on him. Lip is a little swollen. Our trainer, Lance, is going to have to do something in the sense of trying to put some sort of contraption, over it to kind of sort of protect it, I guess. But, JJ's a fighter. He's a kid, tough mentally kid as well, and he's a competitor. So, if he's able to get out there, he's going to get out there.
We talked in the first day about all the distractions that are out here, and it seems like the Cowboys, at least when you look on the floor, you haven't seen that. They've treated this as meaningful basketball games. Have you been pleased with the way they've come out and their mentality towards this tournament?
I have. Again, we're pretty open and honest with our guys, and we like to be straightforward and talking. And we understand the process and the ramifications of it for just the season, not just this tournament. But, every time we hop on the floor, there's an opportunity to get better. And with the distractions, the weather, the beach, just the fans, it's a lot going on out here. And I think our guys have done a pretty good job of staying with each other. Even when they go places, just walking on the resort, they're always together. So to me, again, gelling as a team, I think is really good as well.
You're playing the 12th ranked team in the country in Cincinnati, and I mean this is going to be a test for both teams, I think. But for you guys, what do you think is going to be the big key for you guys to develop? Because they're really good inside, they're really good defensively, forced a lot of turnovers. I mean, what's it going to take for you guys in this one?
Well, again, like you said, they're a very talented basketball team. Coach Cronin has done a great job with that program since even taking it over. But at the same time, I thought, playing against Louisiana kind of prepared us a little bit because they are a physical team, and like you said, great on the defensive end of the floor. What we need to do is just, play our brand of basketball. Got to do obviously a better job of taking care of the basketball. I thought we were a little loose down the stretch and gave Louisiana an opportunity to get back in the game. And then the other opportunity is rebounding. I thought we actually did a great job up until maybe those last 4 minutes of the game to where, Louisiana was fighting to get back. So their energy and their edge and their activity caused us a little bit of problems. So I would assume that Cincinnati would try to expose that. But again, that's something that we're constantly talking to our guys about, and we got to get better at that, not only for 34 minutes, 36 minutes. It got to be a complete game.
Coach, thank you. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This has been our pregame visit with head coach Alan Edwards. Cowboy basketball is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places in a brand new Toyota. Visit your Wyoming Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Tri-State Generation and Transmission Association, a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, and the power behind your local electric co-op. Wyoming Contractors Association, supporting and developing a skilled workforce in construction. Learn more at buildourwyoming.org. And by Wyoming Mining Association. Wyoming basketball is powered by the Wyoming Mining Association. We power America. This is Wyoming Cowboys basketball from Learfield.
For the fearless fans, the ones who refuse to be fair-weathered, all you diehards, you true blues, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming will be right there with you, supporting you every step of the way, with a name that's been trusted for more than 70 years, and the card accepted by over 95% of doctors and specialists, providing strength, security, and the type of passionate support true fans understand. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, live fearless. Proud supporter of the University of Wyoming and fans like you.
This month, get employee pricing plus rebates and more at Laramie GM Auto Center. You can get a new 2017 Chevy Silverado 1500, a Camaro, or even a Corvette at their lowest prices all year with employee pricing plus rebates and more. And get 20% off MSRP on the new 2017 Malibu, Impala, Spark, or Cruise. Come visit us at 3600 East Grand or see us at LaramieGM.com. Chevy, find new roads.
At the University of Wyoming College of Engineering and Applied Science, students receive a top-quality hands-on education in world-class facilities. They learn and work with influential faculty in renewable energy, artificial intelligence, enhanced recovery, and more. The new Engineering Honors Program allows exceptional students the opportunity to explore their education with even greater depth. In the College of Engineering and Applied Science, we're dedicated to the success of our students. Join the UW community and find your future at uwyo.edu/CEAS. Here's something worth shouting.
From the hilltops to the rooftops.
You're a member of an electric cooperative.
And as a member, that means you have a say.
A voice.
In how your co-op is run.
And what's best for the community.
Power to the people.
For the people.
From the people.
Doesn't that sound good?
Learn more about the power of Wyoming's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives
at touchstoneenergy.com.
Canopy Airport Parking is proud to sponsor Wyoming Athletics. Canopy is the affordable choice for premier Denver airport parking and offers 3 levels, including open air, covered, and indoor valet, where you can pamper your car while you travel. Canopy is open 24/7, 365, and all customers enjoy carside to curbside shuttle services. Canopy is LEED Gold certified and the first airport parking facility to be Green Garage certified. So when you travel out of DIA, you can park proud. Visit canopyairportparking.com/Wyoming for exclusive discounts.
Welcome back to the Cowboy Tip-Off Show. Keith Kelly here with you. It is now time for the keys to the game, brought to you by Laramie GM Auto Center. One low price, plain and simple, always. Keys to the game, a look at tonight's game and the things Wyoming must do to be successful. No Justin James. Somebody's going to have to fill the void, and it can't just be one person. Alexander Okagorski, Lou Adams, guys like that going to have to really help out. The Cowboys really have to rebound well against this big, physical Cincinnati Bearcats team. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineups. This is Wyoming basketball from Learfield.
Specialized expertise. It's what a head coach uses to make the game-changing call on 4th and goal. It's how a quarterback threads the needle through tight coverage. It's also what enables advanced and lasting treatments for orthopedic conditions. At Premier Bone and Joint Centers, each of our board-certified physicians has a specialized area of expertise, ensuring that you'll always receive care from a true expert. Because good enough just doesn't cut it in Wyoming. Premier Bone and Joint Centers, we're worthy of Wyoming.
How you doing there? Beautiful car, isn't she?
Yeah, what's the price?
Yeah, 93 late nights at the office. Well, plus tax, of course.
93 late nights? Oh, my budget's more like 78.
Oh, let me talk to the boss, see what I could do.
While other insurance companies just see a car, we see something you've worked really hard for. So why not give it the protection it deserves?
Well, now, he's never done this before, but he says I could do 90 late nights and some free air fresheners.
Deal.
State Farm. Call an agent today.
U.S. Bank offers easy person-to-person payments with Zelle. Person-to-person, like the sometimes fan to the super fan for that last-minute ticket to the game. Or the tailgate guest to the tailgate griller for the pregame grub. Pay whoever for whatever, whenever, with Zelle. It's free in the U.S. Bank mobile app. U.S. Bank, the power of possible. Available to United States bank account holders only. Terms and conditions apply. The Zelle network is property of Early Warning Services, LLC, U.S. Bank member FDIC.
This is the Mining Minute, brought to you by the Wyoming Mining Association. Today we're visiting with Craig Rude, site manager, Jenner, Wyoming, and president of the Wyoming Mining Association. Craig, just how significant is Trona to this state of Wyoming?
So soda ash, which is the end product of Trona, is the United States' largest export.
And welcome to the championship game of the inaugural Cayman Islands Classic alongside Kevin Lehman. I am Brad Wells. Kevin, you ready for this one? Wyoming, Cincinnati, a couple of big wins this week for each squad.
This is the one we've been waiting for. The first championship played in this gymnasium. You've got a Cincinnati team that comes in with a number 12 ranking. They will pick the flesh off your bones defensively. Can Wyoming withstand that pressure?
They've got the length that has given a lot of teams fits so far here this week. Let's take a look now at the starters, and let's begin with the Cowboys as they'll be our visitors here today. And for the Wyoming Cowboys, their 4-0 record for head coach Alan Edwards, their starters in this game here today. Nyers Redding, a redshirt junior out of Cleveland, Ohio. We also have Alan Herndon, a 6'9", a senior out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Hayden Dalton, a 6'8" senior from Parker, Colorado, gets the start for Wyoming. And it'll be interesting, Kevin, we saw Justin James leave the game yesterday, got hit in the nose, and is not here. It'll be Alex Akagorski, the senior, had 16 points in the win over the Ragin' Cajuns. Gets the start here today for Wyoming.
And a big lift from Alex Akagorski. Justin James in street clothes. He will not be dressed for this game.
And we take a look at our key player here for the Wyoming Cowboys, Alan Herndon, the 6'9" senior. His length will disrupt a lot of Cincinnati's offense. 10.7 rebounds in that win over Louisville.
Now Herndon can stretch out the D. He can defend at the rim. Exciting player. He's going to go against a front line of Cincinnati that's going to come at you in waves. Can they withstand the charge of the Bearcats?
All right, take a look at the Cincinnati starters. And for the Bearcats at 5-0, Jacob Evans III, 6'6" junior. Justin Jennifer, the 5'10" junior, got the start yesterday for Cincinnati. Also Gary Clark, a 6'8" senior, his 20th career double-double in the Cayman Islands Classic opener. Kyle Washington, a 6'9" senior, and Jaron Cumberland, a 6'5" sophomore out of Ohio that can fill it up.
And we're going to take a look at Jacob Evans III, the junior out of Baton Rouge. They have the most NBA talent of this very talented Cincinnati team. 6'6", 210, 12 points, 4 assists in their win yesterday.
All right, from Grand Cayman Island inside John Gray Gymnasium as part of the Truman Bodden Sports Complex. It is the first ever Cayman Islands Classic tournament, and this is the championship game. Winner will go home with some hardware. The physicality and the defensive pressure from Cincinnati, Kevin, has been maybe the most impressive thing that we've seen in this tournament.
Well, they will force you into turnovers or try to turn those turnovers into points. But I like the length, not only the front line of Wyoming, but their guards have some size. Of course, they are a man down with Justin James being hurt. Jennifer has played very well for Cincinnati in the game yesterday.
Here's Evans, the third. Jump shots off the mark, and Gary Clark took a tough spill, got undercut on the rebound try. And he gets called for the foul.
A nice block out by Wyoming's bigs. They're going to put a body on those white jerseys.
And Mick Cronin now right out of the gates. Gets up off the seat. Unhappy with that first call. Here's Herndon guarded by Evans. Traveling violation. The Cincinnati defense creates the first turnover just over 30 seconds into it.
And that not with full court pressure. In the half court, their pressure is also relentless. But Wyoming does an excellent job of spreading the court from sideline to sideline. Run some screen-to-screener sets, but you got to be able to get into it. You got to get through the pressure.
Kyle Washington, 13 points in the win over Buffalo for Cincinnati. Here's Evans, dumps it inside for Washington. Herndon with the rebound.
Herndon high in traffic to pull that in.
There's Redding attacking the rim. Back for Dalton. And Hayden Dalton, the big man at 6'8", loves to step out and pop from outside. Here's Adams off the window. Inside to Clark. Washington collects.
Clark's been on the ground twice now early in this game. This Cowboy front line is not going to back down from the physicality of the Bearcats.
Clark goes inside to Washington. Up over top of Herndon, but maybe the length altering that shot.
And the gang rebounding of Wyoming as the guards go in there, dig it out. You have to gang rebound against Cincinnati. Your guards must be involved in the fray.
Here's Akagorski.
Oh, Dalton opened underneath. Missed him.
I don't think Adams could see over top of Clark. Adams wants to fire the three. And Herndon tips it out of bounds.
Defensive battle. Both teams been misfiring. High intensity. You can feel it in the gym in this championship game of the Cayman Island Classic.
That was a look at Mick Cronin, the 12th-year head coach for the Cincinnati Bearcats. And at the top of your screen, on his feet, Alan Edwards in his second season with the Wyoming Cowboys. Former Kentucky Wildcat basketball player.
2 championship rings for Alan Edwards from playing for the Wildcats.
Clark misses from outside.
Well, it's been one and done. That's excellent blockouts by Wyoming.
Three-point try by Akagorski, blocked by Clark. Adams wants to drive. It's taken away by Cumberland. Ahead to Evans. Evans attacks the rim. Play on. Cumberland's put back no good. Clark with a basket and the foul.
This game will not be for the weak of heart as you see those white jerseys swarming the glass.
So Redding whistled for the foul as Clark went over his back. Gets the basket and an opportunity for a three-point play here. The first points of the contest.
Gary Clark is the stat sheet stuffer for the Bearcats.
And it's 3-0 here early on.
Allows the pressure to be set up by Cincinnati. Mick Cronin, third half court, guiding his team.
Here's Herndon down to the corner. Akagorski wide open, but misfires. And a foul is going to be called on Lewis Adams, the 6'4 senior out of Chicago, Illinois. And substitutions for both squads. Cody Kelly, 5'11 sophomore, in for Wyoming. And Nasir Brooks, 6'11 center, a sophomore out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, checks in for the Bearcats. There you see Redding taking a seat.
Good look at Gary Clark. Clark, a Defensive Player of the Year, the American Conference last season. Sells as a passer. Score on the block, mid-range. Jump shot.
Clark guarded by Dalton. Backing him down. Clark with the basket.
And Mick Cronin, that's what he wants to see out of Gary Clark. He wants to be more selfish of a scorer. Wyoming able to get through the pressure, but now can they get a good look against this swarming half-court defense?
Dalton, the deep three, no good. Rebound by Adams.
Adams outskies the big front line of Cincinnati to pull in that rebound.
Here's Akagorski on the drive. Flipped it to Adams. Hit him in the leg with the pass.
Oh, the floor just got shrunk on that drive. Nowhere to go.
We'll have a media timeout at our next dead ball. It's Cincinnati 5, Wyoming nothing. Cumberland, a little step back.
Another good block out by Dalton, but fighting over the ball with Herndon. Turnover. Cowboys.
Cincinnati basketball when we come back. They lead it by 5. 15:34 to go in the championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic.
We going down the road, hands in the air. People everywhere, love and unity is here. It's that time of year where we don't care. It don't matter where you're from, put your flag in the air and represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love, just one love. And represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love.
Got a busy day ahead? Power on with Smoothie King's new coffee high-protein smoothies. Blended with coffee for your mind and at least 30 grams of protein for your body to help you power on all day long. Only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
Wyoming and Cincinnati battling for the Cayman Islands Classic Championship. Right now, the defense is really flexing their muscles. Cincinnati, though, able to claw their way to a 5-0 lead here.
They've already forced 3 turnovers. Wyoming 0 for 4 from the field. They have gotten through the pressure. They have not been able to get open looks against this Bearcat defense that is relentless.
Kevin, break down this game for me. Give me your keys to the game. There you see the Wyoming starting lineup with Akagorski in place of Justin James.
And they've got some size there, 6'9", 6'8", the guards. I like the size of the guards and Redding, Akagorski. Of course, with the start today is Lewis Adams because of the injury to Justin James. for Wyoming floor spacing is going to be critical against the pressure and in their half-court offense. They had 4 in double figures in the win in the semifinal game. And for the Bearcats, they caused turnovers, but they've been kicking the ball down around a bit themselves. They have to have some ball security. They had 20 turnovers against Richmond. Clark wants this ISO against Dalton. Oh,
nice
up and under.
Extra pivot by Gary Clark. And
Well,
Clark
the balance,
with 5 points.
The balance footwork by Gary Clark. Textbook. Put on a clinic, Gary Clark.
Kelly probably had a wide open layup underneath, now throws it away.
There was a wet spot on that corner right in front of the Cincinnati bench. We've seen a couple times some players slip. We got our young man out there working on it. These two guys, they've worked hard this entire tournament, making sure these players are safe on this beautiful new floor. John Gray Gymnasium. Wyoming in their man-to-man defense, and now they've switched Herndon onto Gary Clark. Dalton having problems.
Inside, Gary Clark, and it's 9-0 Cincinnati.
Now Herndon having problems with Clark. Clark just going to work. One-man clinic.
Skip pass for Akagorski, a three-pointer. Wyoming still not on the board. That's last touch by Herndon underneath. Well, 7 of the first 9 points for Gary Clark, the 6'8 senior out of Clayton, North Carolina. A substitution, Dalton checks out as Andrew Momeka into the game.
Momeka going to check in on Nasir Brooks. They're going to keep Alan Herndon on Gary Clark.
For Cincinnati,
Clark has been the go-to man.
For Cincinnati, Jennifer checks out. Kane Broom in for the first time. He's got the basketball, guarded by Cody Kelly.
Kane Broom, the transfer from Sacred Heart, big-time scorer, now a facilitator.
Well, you can try and stop him, but you might just want to try and contain him. How about 9 points here for Gary Clark?
Well, 1,000-point score for the Bearcats. Clark having his way with the Cowboys.
Adams is going to go to the free throw line. Jumps into Brooks.
Strong move by Adams to get into the paint. Lewis Adams. Of course, Mick Cronin doesn't agree with that call.
First free throw for Adams puts Wyoming on the board. Adams with 14 points in Wyoming's semifinal win over Louisiana.
And Adams with a big game, lift off the bench, stepped in with the injury to Justin James and played well. Different level here today. They've got to get Gary Clark contained.
There's a block, momentarily slows him down, but Gary Clark into double figures.
If there is a coaching box, Mick Cronin is not in it.
There's a takeaway by the Bearcats.
He gets more excited when his team's on defense, Mick Cronin, than on offense. He's down in the stance right in front of our broadcast.
Foul goes against Cody Kelly. There you see Mick Cronin.
7 straight NCAA bursts for the Bearcats, a number 12 ranking.
His energy kind of exemplifies the Cincinnati defense, doesn't it? Always up in your face.
A team takes on the personality of their head coach. This Bearcat team is a great example.
Cumberland drives. Fadeaway jumper is good.
Well, Cumberland lost the handle, able to pick it up, get his composure, drop it through.
Here's Kelly in the lane, taken away by Clark and tackled by Kelly.
And Kelly reached for the ball, got a bit of Clark's ankle. Mick Cronin went an intentional foul on that.
Fourth team foul against Wyoming. Substitutions. Trayvon Scott in for Cincinnati. Hunter Maldonado into the game for Adams.
Gary Clark getting a huge hand from the Cincinnati faithful as he leaves the court.
Kyle Washington checks back in, and now Wyoming counters with Hayden Dalton into the game, and Herndon his first breather. Championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic. Officials for tonight, John Higgins, Ron Grover, and Steve Olson. It'll be Cincinnati ball underneath. Georgetown on Grand Cayman Island. Back-to-back-to-back days of games for both of these teams. And we've got a jump ball possession arrow in favor of the Cowboys. Trevor Moore, a freshman, into the game for Cumberland. Kevin, for Wyoming to get to this championship game, they took down South Dakota State 77-65, the preseason favorite in the Summit League. And then they topped Louisiana 70-61. For Cincinnati, they beat Buffalo 73-67. Got a good fight from the Bulls, and then they came out and destroyed Richmond in the semifinal game.
Mick Cronin called it a wake-up call. The Bulls gave him a fight to the end, and John Higgins just gave Mick Cronin his warning for the coaching box. New rules, you get one warning. Second time, it's going to be a technical. John Higgins told Mick, just work with us. Get back in the box.
There's a kick by Broom. That takes us to a media timeout, 11:42 on the clock. First half, it's all Cincinnati, 15-2 over Wyoming here in the championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic.
Be good to yourself. Smoothie King aims to be the first choice for nutrition and all the good meals and snacks by inspiring people to live and have.
It's not about an endless summer or the feeling of the sand between your toes. It's not about the feeling of the setting sun upon your face as your fingers kiss the ocean. It's about the memories you'll never forget and those who will share them with you. The Westin Grand Cayman. It's time for a new adventure.
Got a busy day ahead? Power on with Smoothie King's new coffee high-protein smoothies. Blended with coffee for your mind and at least 30 grams of protein for your body to help you power on all day long. Only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
We going down the road, hands in the air. People everywhere, love and unity is here. It's that time of year where we don't care. It don't matter where you're from, put your flag in the air and represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love, just one love. And represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love.
15-2 Cincinnati leading Wyoming here in the championship game. And for the Bearcats, Gary Clark, 13 of the 15 points for the senior. He's been unstoppable on the offensive end of the floor.
He's going right to the block. First he went after Hayden Dalton, and then they put Alan Herndon on him. But Gary Clark, 6 of 8. Got the free throw at one time. In the paint, Cincinnati has 12 of their 15 points.
Wyoming 0 for 5 shooting, and they have 6 turnovers. Their 2 points come from Lewis Adams, 2 for 2 at the free throw line.
Cowboys have not gotten any good looks, and they haven't had the opportunity to run their offense. Well, they do an excellent job of swinging it side to side. Cincinnati cutting off the passing lanes, keeping the ball pinned on one side of the court. Experienced Cowboy team as they won the CBI championship last year, but they haven't seen pressure like this before.
Kelly's three-point try way off the mark. Looking for their first title since that CBI championship game at the end of last season. And how about that? First-year head coach Alan Edwards leads his team to a postseason title. Foul called on Hayden Dalton there.
Nacier Brooks did a nice job of a rim run. He got down there deep in position. Nothing that Hayden Dalton could do to displace him.
Brooks at the free throw line, rattles it home. Substitution. Nyers Redding back in for Kelly.
Brooks, an excellent free throw shooter for the Bearcats. It's a nice soft touch.
Brooks gets them both.
Cronin didn't pay much attention to that coaching box warning.
Redding misses the shot inside. Here's Evans. Skips it over to Moore in transition. For three, it's good.
Oh, tough shot. Moore, the hard catch. Didn't think it was unbalanced. Trevor Moore been on fire from the arc.
Timeout taken on the floor.
Alan Edwards looking for some answers. He's getting through the pressure, but the half-court offense cannot get any flow whatsoever.
Timeout taken by Coach Edwards of Wyoming, and started immediately talking with the officials. I believe it's just a 30-second timeout. He never went into the huddle to talk to his Cowboys. I think he wanted a foul on Redding's shot on the other side.
Having a discussion with Ron Grover. Alan Edwards pleading his case. A little frustration. Cowboys cannot get into their offensive sets at all. Again, Mick Cronin, he's right here. He wants to jump out there and set a trap himself. Oh, that one's saved by the official Grover, so it would have been out of bounds.
Wyoming sets up their offense with 15 on the shot clock. There's Adams, pull-up jumper, and it's good.
Nice job by Adams. A couple rhythm dribbles. Dropped it in. He's got all four for the Cowboys.
That ends a 9-0 run for Cincinnati's. They lead it 20-4, and here's a steal. Here's Maldonado. The finger roll won't go down. Moore with the rebound.
Missed opportunity by the freshman Maldonado.
And Broom traveled with it.
And immediately
up off the bench, Justin Jennifer, the 5'10 junior, in for Broom. And now Jaron Cumberland checks in for Evans.
And we haven't seen Gary Clark in that initial huge thrust where he scored points early and often.
Scored 13 of their first 15. You giving him a hard time now?
Well, he's just
Still
sitting on the bench. You know, he got tangled up on that little tackle play. I hope that he's okay, but we'll see if he gets back in here soon. Boy, Brooks again with great inside position on Dalton. Power
Working
move
against him. Doesn't get the shot to go. Washington gets tied up by Adams. Possession arrow in favor of Cincinnati.
Brooks tried to finesse a little bit, faded. But Washington in the backside just rushing, bull rushing the rim for the offensive rebound.
Washington a deep two. Way too strong, and then stepping out of bounds is Brooks.
Here comes Gary Clark.
Gary Clark and Trayvon Scott into the game.
Mick Cronin not happy with Kyle Washington's decision to shoot that long jumper off the OB play.
And Brooks gets a seat after stepping on the end line. Dalton on the drive. He's going to try and get inside.
Nice move by the senior, Hayden Dalton. Over the outstretched hands of Gary Clark, the Defensive Player of the Year in the American. Tough move. Hayden Dalton. Now can the Cowboys stop this inside thrust? Little zone here by Wyoming.
A defense by Dalton gets the Cowboys bench fired up. We'll see if that basket by Dalton sparks Wyoming a little bit here.
Cowboys back in their man.
Adams cuts off Cumberland. Shot clock at 5. Clark's got to go to work.
Clark with a look of surprise on his face. That was a great defensive effort by Hayden Dalton. Slide his feet, take the blow in the chest.
Offensive foul called on Clark. That's his second personal foul.
Well, Clark with a great start in this game. He takes a seat with 2 fouls.
Washington back on the court. 13 of the first 15 points scored by Cincinnati was scored by Gary Clark. Now he'll be on the bench. 3-point try. No good for Maldonado.
Well, Kyle Washington got sent to his room after that bad shot, but now he did his time. He's back on the court. High-low look.
Scott at the free throw line. Dribbled off his own shoe. Here comes Redding. Redding into the lane. High degree of difficulty shot. It's Momeka's shot getting blocked.
How about the Kyle Washington with that block? Up in the air, quick off his feet. Great timing.
Maldonado with the foul. A timeout on the floor. Cincinnati 20. Wyoming 6. 8 minutes to go in the first half. This is the championship game of the first ever Cayman Islands Classic.
Got a busy day ahead? Power on with Smoothie King's new coffee high-protein smoothies. Blended with coffee for your mind and at least 30 grams of protein for your body to help you power on all day long. Only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
7:59 to go. First half, Cincinnati 20, Wyoming 6. 13 points for Gary Clark. Scored 13 in the first 15 for Cincinnati. But now on the bench with 2 fouls. Where does Cincinnati turn here offensively? Plenty of options, but where do you like
They're
them
trying to go inside and get Washington some looks on the high-low along with Moore and Brooks. If you're Wyoming, you've kind of withstood that initial thrust, 20-6. They've settled in a little bit more comfortable, led by Lewis Adams. And that's what you have to do. You get through the initial thrust, because what Cincinnati does, they try to give you the knockout punch early. Come out with high energy, flying around. But I like this about the Wyoming. They're not trying to score at the end of the press. They're trying to run some offense and spread out Cincinnati's defense. I think they have some success with that type of strategy.
Wyoming 0 for 6 from three-point land.
We watched a Richmond team last night that could not get into their offense at all. No 1-3-1 zone show by the Cowboys. Look for Washington behind the zone.
Cumberland's deep three, no good. Rebounded by Adams. Dalton from outside.
Nice little Euro play to kick it back to Dalton, but Dalton leaves it short.
Dalton with 2 of the 6 points. The rest all coming from Adams for Wyoming. Washington to Jennifer. Into the lane. Blocked by Momeka. Going to have a foul. Andrew Momeka picks up his second. Up to the free throw line goes Justin Jennifer for Cincinnati. Jennifer 9 points in the win over Richmond. 3 threes, all in the first half.
Yeah, Jennifer shot it well coming out of the gate against Richmond.
Gets 1 of 2. Cincy by 15. Here's Herndon.
Herndon has not been able to get any looks in this offense.
Redding in the lane, blocked by Cumberland. And Redding was standing on the end line when it hit his shoe, out of bounds. It will be Bearcat basketball.
Well, the first 2 games, we watched Wyoming run sets against both South Dakota State and Louisiana, but they cannot get into any of these sets tonight because of the pressure of Cincinnati. They run some double staggered screenaways, some slips to the post. Not able to do it tonight. Too much pressure from the Bearcats. Again, that zone. And with Gary Clark out, this Bearcat team has struggled to score baskets.
Just the 1 free throw. A blocking foul, though, will go against Dalton. And now 1-and-1 opportunities. Wyoming, 17 fouls here with 6:35 to go in the first half. Washington, an 83% free throw shooter. Misses the front end, but gets his own rebound. The putback is good. That's one way to get 2 points.
Soft touch.
That's on Cumberland.
Hand check on Cumberland as he put his hand on the hip of Redding. Lewis Adams is triggered in. Herndon, very few touches.
To attempt a field goal. This is Dalton from outside. Hayden Dalton.
And over the outstretched arm of Jake Evans III, Dalton. Bullseye from top of the key.
Scott's pass tipped out of bounds by Herndon. Cincy to inbound it. It was an 11-0 run to start the game for Cincinnati. They lead it by 14.
Well, I was going to say that Cowboys, once that initial thrust got over with and Gary Clark went out, they've hung in here, but that soft rim for Cincinnati has been very kind to both Washington and Jacob Evans.
Evans with his first basket of the game. There's a three-point try. Maldonado, it's good.
A good ball move by Herndon. Got it back to the weak side. That weak side corner is open because of all the pressure on the strong side. If you can get it out of the pressure reversed, you'll have an open look.
Evans fires the three. Long rebound out to Jennifer. He's hit 3 of them yesterday, and he's got his first here tonight.
The long rebound, Jennifer caught it right in rhythm. Goes up into his jump shot. Distorted defense. High percentage shot for Jennifer.
Hayden Dalton working against Washington. Tried to get some contact. Thought that he did. The shot goes out of bounds.
Well, new rules now. That offensive player cannot force contact on a jump shot. That's what Hayden Dalton was attempting to do. Cannot invade the space of the defender. It's a call a couple years ago that Dalton may have gotten, but no longer. Cowboys, they like this 1-3-1 zone. And Cincinnati has not been able to get the high-low action going against this zone. Cumberland sneaking along the baseline.
Jennifer fires the three. About 2 for 2.
Well,
and a little talking afterwards.
Little chirping by Justin Jennifer as he knocked in that 3 ball. Mick Cronin can't believe it.
So free throws coming now for Reading. Reading scoreless in the game so far. First free throw is good. He'll get a second.
And you can see John Higgins on the screen there. He was still talking to Mick Cronin, explaining what Justin Jennifer did. Well, in sportsmanlike conduct, Jennifer's still trying to shake it off. But he's found the soft spot in that 1-3-1 zone right there on the right elbow at the three-point line. Jennifer got one on a long rebound. That time just stepped into the gap and rung the bell. Put 3 up.
31-14. Cincinnati by 17. Here's Herndon trying to get his first points of the game. Step up to the line.
Well, we talked about the length of Wyoming. That's what made that play. You have Hayden Dalton at 6'8", bring the ball across half court. 6'9", Herndon trying to sneak behind the zone, play over the top.
Herndon gets the first. More checks in for Cumberland.
Herndon's had a hard time getting some clean looks because of the pressure.
A 15-point lead now for Cincinnati.
Cowboys back to man-to-man.
Jennifer, the jumper in the lane, no good. Gets his own rebound. Here's Evans. Now
high
Washington. Washington looks like he wants to use his left hand. Steps back, knocks in the open jumper.
Nowhere to go. I'm going to shoot it.
Herndon wants to shoot it. It's Moore on the rebound.
Cincinnati likes that. They want that quick shot in the pressure.
So Evans the third with the bucket in the lane.
Mid-range pull-up jump shot. The lost art of college basketball. Jacob Evans.
Inside to Dalton, working against Jennifer. Now a tipped pass. Cincinnati comes away with it, nearly stolen by Maldonado. Inside to Scott.
Well, Cowboys did not find Scott in transition. Shot clock horn went off, and everyone hesitated for a second, but not Scott. He ran down the court, got position in the short corner. Rewarded with 2 points.
Here's Hayden Dalton behind the back with Evans up in the air. Draws a foul on Jacob Evans. And that takes us to a media timeout. Cincinnati 37, Wyoming 16. It's been a game of runs since he started with an 11-0 run. They had a 9-0 run. Wyoming trying to claw their way back, but right now Cincinnati on a 6-0 run. They lead it by 21. We'll be back with more of the championship game of the inaugural Cayman Islands Classic.
Got a busy day ahead? Power on with Smoothie King's new coffee high-protein smoothies. Blended with coffee for your mind and at least 30 grams of protein for your body to help you power on all day long. Only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
We going down the road, hands in the air. People everywhere, love and unity is here. It's that time of year where we don't care. It don't matter where you're from, put your flag in the air and represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love, just one love. And represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love.
This is the championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic. Cincinnati, a red-hot start, jumped out early, 11-0. Lead it by 21 over Wyoming. Out-rebounding them, winning that lower box score.
Cincinnati imposing their will, 18 points in the paint. Gary Clark with a fast start, 13 points, but picked up his second foul, has gone to the bench. They've spread the wealth after that. Justin Jennifer, the starting point guard, has knocked in a couple of triples for 7 points for Cincinnati. Hayden Dalton starting to get going a little bit for Wyoming. Point number 6 for the senior out of Parker, Colorado. Team in this tournament averaging 26 a game. Remember, this is a Wyoming team that had that huge win before coming down to the Caymans at Oregon State. 75-66. CBI champs from a year ago, Wyoming Cowboys.
There's Evans taking it up, shot no good. Foul against the Bearcats. Herndon and Evans. Little activity up above the rim there.
Evans' ability to hang, try to kiss it soft off the glass. Now Dalton gets a chance to step to the free throw line. Eighth team foul on Cincinnati, 8 on Wyoming. Oh, missed opportunity.
Scott with the rebound. Jennifer runs the point. The 5'10 junior averages 3 points a season ago for Cincinnati.
Well, he has gained Nick Cronin's trust, Justin Jennifer, throughout this tournament.
Close to 9 points per game on the season. Scott misses. Here comes Adams.
Well, this is a different type of team offensively, Cincinnati. Still effective, but not as effective with Gary Clark on the bench.
Adams with the tough shot. Gets the finish over Adams.
Willpower. Adams.
He's got 6. The lead to 17. Evans trying to go by Akagorski, and a traveling violation called
We're
on
trying to
the
get
junior.
Evans the ball in the elbow in an isolation. Just let him go one-on-one. The Cincinnati pressure has been backed off, not as relentless as it was early in this game. A little more focus on half-court pressure.
Akagorski going to the rim, tries to finish with the left hand. Washington with the rebound, and the Bearcats slow it down.
Well, you've got about a 5-second differential on the shot clock and the game clock. And you're going to see a flat screen, usually what they like to run for Justin Jennifer in this situation.
Shot clock at 5.
A curl for Evans.
Evans, the kick. This is more. And a shot clock violation. It'll be Wyoming ball with 4.1 on the clock.
Now, if you're the Cowboys, you do not want to turn this ball over with 4.1 seconds left. Catch it clean. Try to advance it. Now, Cincinnati has backed their pressure off here near the half-court line.
Here comes Adams. Tries to go all the way to the rim. High off the glass, no good. To halftime we go. A 17-point lead for Cincinnati. And Kevin, you kind of see why Cincinnati's ranked number 12 in the country.
Well, their pressure is relentless, and they try to start the game and impose their will. Cowboys back on their heels, but they kind of recover. They've been able to get to the free throw line and get some points there. Dalton got it going a bit. But it's a different team, Cincinnati, when they have Gary Clark in the game. Went out after those first 13 points with 2 fouls. Let's see in the second half, Clark back in if they try to isolate him on the block again.
Gary Clark scored 13 of the first 15 points for Cincinnati. We'll see him again in the second half. It's the Bearcats by 17 at the half. The Cayman Islands Classic Championship game.
It's not about an endless summer or the feeling of the sand between your toes. It's not about the feeling of the setting sun upon your face as your fingers kiss the ocean. It's about the memories you'll never forget and those who will share them with you. The Westin Grand Cayman. It's time for a new adventure.
We going down the road, hands in the air. People everywhere, love and unity is here. It's that time of year where we don't care. It don't matter where you're from, put your flag in the air and represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love, just one love. And represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love.
Got a busy day ahead? Power on with Smoothie King's new coffee high-protein smoothies. Blended with coffee for your mind and at least 30 grams of protein for your body to help you power on all day long. Only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
Thank you for the good sport. Thank you. All right, here we go. Really quick here. 3, 2, 1, go. No layups, no layups, no layups, no layups. Boy, those big shorts. Who's next? Good job. Thanks, man. Thank you. That was quick. Nice and quick. There you go. Next two. I know the shorts are big. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Right. Oh. Good job. they're going to shoot. 1, 2, 1, 2, and what was the other guy? Who just won? Who just won? Where is he? 1, 2, there's one more. Socks, you made it. 1, 2, and he went over there. All right, here you go, sir. We need you. Right here. There's a big prize at stake for you. You get 3 shots now. Best of 5. Mike, give me that ball. Who sets up first? You shoot first, sir. One for one. 2 for 2. Two for 3. 2 for 4. 2 for 5. All right, here we go. Step up, shoot. Over 2. 1 for 3. 2 for 4. Three for 5. That's the score to beat now, sir. 3 to 5. 3 for 5. He's got a nice shot. He's got a nice follow. Who are the other contestants? The other contestants? All right, crowd, make some noise for the people out there shoot. Give some support. 3 for 5. So 3 for 2 for 5. So we need a shoot off. 1 and 1. 1 and 1. 1 for 1. Shoot 1, miss 1. Here we go. Let's keep it quick. Here we go. 1 and 1. Keep quick. Keep quick. Boom. All right, if you make it, you win, sir.
Yeah, nobody can break it.
Uh-oh. Let's go again, sir. Your shot. Your shot. First person to hit wins. You make this one, you win, sir. And you will want the prize. There you go. Good job. Make some noise, guys. Everybody that participated in halftime shootout. Thanks. Anyone who won or in the competition, step over here. Take a picture. Got a signed jersey for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
37, Wyoming at 20 here at the half. 13 points from Gary Clark. Scored 13 of the first 15 for Cincinnati, and Hayden Dalton leading the scoring for Wyoming with 7 points, and then Lewis Adams with 6. Kevin, it was Cincinnati, a really fast start. Scored the first 11 points of the basketball game, had a 9-0 run later. Since then, Wyoming has settled down, but Gary Clark really just the story in that first half with his hot start, 13 of those first 15.
Well, hot start, and then he had to go to the bench with the 2 fouls. But Cincinnati, number 12 ranking in the nation, they come with an agenda and impose their will upon you. They did that initial thrust. Cowboys, as you said, settled down. They got to the free throw line, got some points at the free throw line. Can they do that again in the second half?
All right, and can Wyoming find an answer somehow, as the shooting has been tough? As we take a look at some of our first half stats here, the field goal percentage, just 22% for Wyoming. 3-point shooting percentage at 18%. They got to try and pick it up a little bit.
Well, the Cowboys have been able to get the free throw line, though. 8 of 9 from the line, only 3 offensive rebounds. But for Cincinnati, they are crashing the glass also. But the field goal percentage, that's what you got to look at when you play Cincinnati, because they want to wear you out. They're shooting 50%. The Cowboys struggling. 5 of 23, just 22% in this first half.
How much of it, Kevin, is that Cincinnati defense just all over every ball handle?
Well, third game in 3 days for both these teams, but Cincinnati is used to it. The Cowboys haven't seen this type of pressure all season long.
Points in the paint, Cincinnati with an 18-4 advantage. Points off of turnovers, an 11-2 advantage. And really, Wyoming 8 turnovers, Cincinnati with 6. Wyoming just not able to capitalize.
Well, one of the issues with Cincinnati with their half-court offense, they have turned the ball over all season, something that Mick Cronin wants to clean up. But if you watch this practice, it's 80% defense. This offense will come. It is a work in progress at this time as they're trying to score off of their defense. Relentless at the defensive end. The Cowboys just having a hard time finding open looks, and they've really bottled up Alan Herndon.
Kevin, this is the final game in 3 days. We've seen some great basketball here. Our 12th game of this 8-team tournament at the inaugural 2017 Cayman Islands Classic. And coming in, maybe looking at the bracket, we didn't expect Wyoming and Cincinnati to meet in that championship game, but this Wyoming squad has shown us they can play, and they can play physical. They've got some length. They're a good team.
Well, they came off at CBI championship last year. Alan Edwards has done a great job with this team, so they have some experience coming into this. But they don't quite have the depth that Cincinnati has. But you talk about the field, Brad. 8 teams, 5 in postseason play last year. Got the Hawkeyes out of the Big Ten. Of course, Cincinnati out of the American. UAB, Wyoming, South Dakota State, Richmond, Buffalo, Raging Cajuns, Louisiana. Outstanding field.
Louisiana winning the third-place game over Richmond earlier today. Here's Adams, a 3 from the corner, no good, and it's Clark with the rebound. South Dakota State won the 5th-place game over Buffalo, and Iowa topped UAB for 7th. It's a foul away from the ball. It's going to be inside against Hayden Dalton.
Well, Cincinnati likes to get the ball in the middle of the court with Evans up top, and it's a block-to-block screen with Washington and Evans. Just power basketball inside.
Here's Gary Clark, 13 points, 2 rebounds. Give him 15 points.
And Mick Cronin said, we have to get Gary Clark more aggressive. He certainly listened to that speech to start this game and to start the second half.
Well, his first game here in the Cayman Islands, 24 points, 14 rebounds, his 20th career double-double. So he helped will his Bearcats to a win over the Bulls. There's a foul on Cincinnati, and that goes against Washington inside.
This little give-and-go cut by Akagorski, but he was sandwiched inside. But again, a chance to go to the free throw line. That's the one area where Wyoming has had some success. they're attacking the physicality of Cincinnati and getting to the free throw line.
8 for 9 at the free throw line. Akagorski improves that mark. A 6'5 senior out of Lund, Sweden. Played 45 games for that Swedish national team. Had 16 points last night in the semifinal game.
Cowboys have to find an answer for Gary Clark.
Here's Cumberland. No good. The rebound tipped around. Here comes Akagorski. Dalton to the rim. Lost the handle as he went up with it. And here comes Washington. A 2-on-1. Cumberland fouled as he goes to the basket by Akagorski.
Hayden Dalton was going to do the windmill slam. Ball slipped out of his hands at the end. And Cincinnati playing downhill, coming 2-on-1 the other direction.
17-point lead for 12th ranked Cincinnati. Cumberland gets the first. For Cincy as a team now 5 of 7 at the free throw line. And here comes Dalton. Off the rebound. Maybe got away with a double dribble there as he lost it. This is Adams. Spins it off the glass. Dalton tries to put it up. And that's going to be a jump ball. The possession arrow in favor of Cincinnati. Stuck between the cylinder and the glass.
So some frustration from Hayden Dalton as he missed the sweeping dunk. And that time had a tip in. Rolled over the rim and got caught in the crutch.
Here's Justin Jennifer, 2 for 2 from three-point land in that first half. Has 7 points.
Jennifer's a nice job of running this offense for Mick Cronin.
Washington skying high for that shot. He's got 6.
It was body control for Kyle Washington. Outstanding. Hang. Hit. Little teardrop.
Second team all-conference pick in the American last season. There's Redding, the skip pass nearly stolen away by Washington. Washington, he's got double-double capabilities as well. He's got 7 rebounds already to go with his 6 points. Had 7 double-doubles last season.
Well, the big lefty was a transfer from NC State. 78 offensive rebounds last season for Kyle Washington.
Gary Clark with the block. Cowboys will re-inbound it underneath the basket.
Well, Gary Clark, it is a stat sheet stuffer. He's going to score it. He's going to rebound it. Defensive Player of the Year in the American.
Dalton misfires. They've been tipped as he went up with the shot.
You know, I've liked the floor game of Justin Jennifer. He's knocked in some open shots. Good job of directing traffic for the Bearcat team.
Evans pull-up jumper. In and out, no good. Dalton with the rebound. Akagorski, they wave the shot off and a foul against Cincinnati. That's second team foul against the Bearcats. And it goes against Jacob Evans. That's his second. Inbounds pass, and Adams wide open underneath the rim. An easy 2. It's the easiest points Wyoming's had tonight.
Adams off the bench, got the start tonight because of the injury to Justin James. And Lewis Adams has responded. Came out of Odessa Community College, a senior now for the Cowboys.
Clark for 3, and he hasn't missed much tonight. Redding goes baseline, and he throws it out of bounds.
Redding's tried that hammer play a number of times, driving baseline, trying to throw it under the basket to the opposite corner. But Cincinnati has been trained to stop that play. They've had hand in the passing lane twice now.
Approaching the 16-minute mark of this second half. Jennifer for three. No good. The rebound to Herndon. Here comes Redding. And now Adams attacks the rim. It's blocked away.
Evans with a piece.
Cumberland gets it inside.
Clark's game's so smooth. Caught that off balance. Immediately got rid of it.
Washington uses the right hand this time.
Well, he set it up with his right shoulder, baited the defender, then came back to his weak hand.
Adams misses inside. Jennifer over to Evans for three. Jacob Evans, the third.
Well, the Cowboys have had opportunities at the rim, not able to convert. Cincinnati's smelling blood in the water. Sharks going after, trying to put a final stamp on this with 15 left, building a lead.
And a timeout taken by Wyoming. This will be our coach's called timeout in this second half. It's a 23-point lead for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Back with more after this. It's the championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic.
Got a busy day ahead? Power on with Smoothie King's new coffee high-protein smoothies. Blended with coffee for your mind and at least 30 grams of protein for your body to help you power on all day long. Only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
Cincinnati in front by 23 here in the title game. Wyoming, a rough start here in the second half offensively. Just can't get it going, can't get any shots to go down.
Just 1 of 8 from the field. They are 6 of 31 on this game, 19%. It's a relentless pressure. The Bearcats just wears into you.
0 for 3 from three-point range here in the second half. Cincinnati winning the second half 10-4, your score since halftime. Washington knocks it out of bounds as he blocks Adams.
Kyle Washington may have blocked that ball twice.
And we got immediate timeout on the floor. 14:55 to go here in the second half. It's number 12, Cincinnati, 47. Wyoming, 24. Back with more second half action After this, it's the Cayman Islands Classic from Grand Cayman Island.
It's not about an endless summer or the feeling of the sand between your toes. It's not about the feeling of the setting sun upon your face as your fingers kiss the ocean. It's about the memories you'll never forget and those who will share them with you. The Westin Grand Cayman. It's time for a new adventure.
We going down the road, hands in the air, people everywhere, love and unity is here. It's that time of year where we don't care. It don't matter where you're from, put your flag in the air and represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love, just one love, and represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love.
Got a busy day ahead? Power on with Smoothie King's new coffee high-protein smoothies. Blended with coffee for your mind and at least 30 grams of protein for your body to help you power on all day long. Only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
Wyoming basketball to resume action here in the second half. 14:55 to play. And Gary Clark thought he had a steal, gets called for the push on Herndon. Third team foul on Cincinnati here in the second half.
And this second half has been a 10-4 run, and Clark's going to take a seat. Third foul.
Trevor Moore into the game.
We haven't talked much about Trevor Moore. He has played well for the Bearcats.
9 points yesterday in that semifinal game against Richmond. There's Adams, shot no good. Herndon's tip back, has to do it twice.
A good second effort by Herndon to stick with it.
Herndon with 4 points now for Wyoming. Adams leads the team with 8. Dalton with 7.
A little small lineup now for Cincinnati.
For Cincinnati, it's Clark on the bench with 15 points. Kyle Washington with 8. And Evans gets whistled for a traveling violation. Maldonado into the game. Akagorski gets a breather for the Cowboys.
Now, basically, you have a 4-guard lineup for the Bearcats in with Kyle Washington in the middle.
Redding guarded by Jennifer. Here's Herndon firing the 3.
Herndon has not got many clean looks from outside the three-point line. Has the ability to knock it down.
0 for 2 after that shot. Here's Washington facing Momeka. He gets it back. Shot up. And Washington, such a soft touch for going up so strong.
It's a soft touch, Brad, but he has quick hands, able to pick up a fumbled basketball, regain his composure and balance. That is a special play.
Herndon to Adams. Oh, my.
Adams. Helium that rises.
Adams into double figures, the first Cowboy to hit 10. And doing it with a bang. Evans able to get it back underneath. Lost it, though. Washington there to clean it up, and he gets the put in.
Kyle Washington, a big smile on his face. He is always around the leather.
Corner three for Maldonado. It's the side of the backboard.
A nice look. That was good ball reversal. Maldonado misfire from the corner.
Cincinnati by 23.
Well, you just get the feeling that Lewis Adams loves this challenge. Oh, he just ran into a huge pick by Kyle Washington.
Cumberland, the deep three.
Well, when they add that three-point shot, Bearcats had that power game inside. We highlighted Gary Clark and Jacob Evans, but Jaron Cumberland.
Herndon with the answer. His first triple, he's got 7 points.
How about Evans' ability to start the offense?
Shot clock to 10. Now Washington goes to work inside one-on-one against Momeka. And a foul called inside on the 6'8 sophomore. And a timeout on the floor. Cincinnati 54, Wyoming 31. 12th ranked Cincinnati rolling here in the championship game and at the Cayman Islands Classic. Wyoming looking for a spark, trailing Cincinnati by 23. They want to get a spark, Kevin. They might have to go to Lewis Adams, a 6'4 senior. When you're from Chicago, Illinois, this is how you score on Cincinnati.
A little back cut. Adams taking the elevator to the top floor and throwing it down with some authority.
Now for Cincinnati, meanwhile, they've gotten contribution from Gary Clark. Kyle Washington really starting to fill it up. Jacob Evans with that three-pointer. Jaron Cumberland with a three most recently. And they've won some regular season tournament titles under Mick Cronin. Since 2006, 5 titles, including 2015 at the Barclays Center Classic in Brooklyn, New York. And then the Global Sports Shootout in Cincinnati back in 2013, and the Global Sports Classic in Las Vegas in 2012.
One of these things these tournaments allow you to do, 3 games, 3 days, short turnarounds, quick prep for your team, prepares you for conference tournament play.
Cruising right now to a Cayman Islands Classic, the inaugural Cayman Islands Classic, and quite the crew that's putting this on here at KMAX Sports.
Well, KMAX Sport had this idea 6 years ago, and we're seeing the results of their hard work. Jill Turk, Chief Strategy Officer, Joe Wright, CEO, Felix Wright, former Cleveland Brown, on the board, along with Victor O'Garo and Al Wilson. I want to thank KMAX Sports for bringing basketball to the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Blues, beautiful blue water, beaches, basketball, a winning combination. Brought to you by KMAX Sports.
Kevin, I tell you what, for Cincinnati, you got to take Gary Clark or maybe Kyle Washington. Put one of them on the board as an honorary member. Who are you going to put on there?
I'm going with Gary Clark. He had that great start, but this young man here, Kyle Washington, has been everywhere. Number 24. There's a loose ball. Kyle Washington's going to get it.
Sets up Evans for the triple.
Evans, quiet in the first half, been lighting up here in the second half. When you look at that stat sheet for Cincinnati, they're like video game numbers.
Maldonado kicks it over to Adams. Now Dalton out to Herndon, and Herndon drives that same lane that Adams blazed earlier.
Well, they respected the three-point shot on Herndon. Little ball fake, hard bounce, hard finish.
Washington will try his touch from 12 feet. Here comes Kelly.
This is a Wyoming team that's going to be really good in the Mountain West Conference.
Dalton misfires. Gary Clark at the scorer's bench, waiting to check in. He's got a team-high 15 points.
What's the experience here for Wyoming? A win over Louisiana, a win over South Dakota State, and now to play against a top-ranked team in Cincinnati. Nothing to make them better when they get into conference play.
Foul underneath is going to go against Hayden Dalton. Undercut on the rebound, and now Clark into the game for Jaron Cumberland.
That's a Wyoming team picked 7th in the Mountain West Conference. They're going to finish much higher than that. Of course, Nevada has been very good. South Dakota, the San Diego State, excellent. Boise, Fresno.
There's Washington. And an offensive foul coming here on Washington.
Well, the second defender came in there, and Washington turned in with the shoulder and the forearm.
Now Sear Brooks checks into the game for Washington. So he gets a round of applause from the Bearcat fans that made their way down to the Cayman Islands.
Renee Sear Brooks, just a sophomore, huge upside. I really like his game. Active on defense, rim protector.
Here's Adams. He's really coming alive. 12 points. Leading the Cowboys.
Well, Adams relishes the physicality of this game. Has attacked the rim time and time again for the Cowboys. Has been fearless.
It's going to stay with Cincinnati.
Lewis Adams ran to a screen again, trying to shake it off. He's a tough kid. Number 24 wearing that cowboy yellow. Oh, he's mashed up on Jacob Evans.
Here's Broom at the horn and is fouled by Adams. Adams commits his second, and so Broom up to the free throw line.
When the shot clock all the way down, Adams, what's the foul? Puts Broom up there. Now, Broom's been quiet scorer. He's big time scored at Sacred Heart before transferring to Cincinnati. 8th leading scorer in the nation as a sophomore. Set out last year. And now a junior for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
(61-35). Number 12, Cincy by 26. Broom going to add to it.
Well, that pressure is so relentless that you ball fake one way and Broom just waiting in the gap.
A step back for Dalton. The three-pointer.
They've been few and far between for Hayden Dalton.
Here's the kick out for Williams. Keith Williams gets in on the action.
Well, that's set up by Kane Broom. Just enough penetration to the nail to suck in the weak side defender.
Foul on the shot. Broom gets the arm of Hayden Dalton. And we'll have 3 free throws when we come back. 7:14 to play. It's number 12, Cincinnati, leading Wyoming 66-38 right here in the title game, the 2017 Cayman Islands Classic.
Got a busy day ahead? Power on with Smoothie King's new coffee high-protein smoothies. Blended with coffee for your mind and at least 30 grams of protein for your body to help you power on all day long. Only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
Cincinnati leading by 28. Scoring coming from all over. Jaron Cumberland with that deep three here in this second half. It's been part of the Bearcats winning this second half. They won that first half. We're ahead by 17. They've extended their lead now to 28, Kevin.
And Cincinnati has heated up from that three-point line. 7 triples to go along with that power inside game. And a relentless defense that makes you play left-handed. They take away your strengths. Wyoming struggling to get good looks at the basket. 28% in this game, 12 of 42. And it's really eaten their legs. 4 of 19 from the three-point line for the Cowboys. They've handled the pressure fairly well. Only 11 turnovers for Wyoming. But in the second half, you've seen Cincinnati back the pressure off, working more of their half-court defense, trying to disrupt in that area.
How about offensively here this second half? Cincinnati's gotten more efficient. They shot a season-best 54% yesterday against the Spiders. They like this gym, Kevin. 50% in the first half, 55% here in the second half.
Well, when you have Gary Clark going 7 for 10, Kyle Washington 7 for 11, moves the needle. Kyle Washington with a double-double. 14 and 11.
Dalton gets 1 of 2. He's got 12. There's Evans whistled for the carry. And Wyoming gets possession with 6:49 to go here in the second half.
Ninth turnover for the Bearcats.
Here's Kelly in the lane, tries to dish it to Adams. It's knocked away. On the move is Williams. Williams fouled. So gave that basketball a pretty good chance at going in. Foul goes on Hunter Maldonado. Freshman out of
Acrobatic
Colorado.
move by Williams to get that ball up on the rim.
.26 lead for Cincinnati. Aka Gorski checks in for Lewis Adams. College basketball from the Cayman Islands. It's the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Wyoming Cowboys fighting for the first ever Cayman Islands Classic Championship.
This is a championship game that many thought Iowa Hawkeyes would be in. Wyoming coming out of the other bracket with some great wins.
Herndon, the putback, gets it to go. Herndon now with 11.
Herndon working the offensive glass.
Wyoming took care of business against South Dakota State, won by 12. Beat a tough Louisiana Ragin' Cajun squad, 70-61. Cincinnati, meanwhile, pushed pretty hard by the Buffalo Bulls.
Yeah, I got like Buffalo. That was a team with some moxie. Wouldn't give up. Nice move by the freshman, Maldonado. Get his shoulder in there, get the contact. He knew he was going to get that ball up on the glass, so put his left shoulder into the defender and a chance to get back to the free throw line.
Up to the line goes Maldonado. The foul on Brooks. His second. Well, Kevin, scuba diving, the birthplace right here, the Cayman Islands. You got a 7-mile beach up on the north end of the island here.
Many of the fans that have come down for this tournament have taken the excursion where you swim with the stingrays.
You put a squid in your hand, and they'll suck it right out of your hand. Broom. Little doopsie-doo.
In a backcourt cut, Kyle Washington delivers the rock. Easy basket.
There's Herndon. Fouled on his way to the basket. Bird fans doing some nice snorkeling with some sea turtles as well. Lots to do here. They get some beach time, some water time.
And some great basketball.
Some great basketball. I've heard you could do some banking down here too.
This tournament is just going to grow in popularity. Outstanding field this year. And the word's going to get out. Maury Hanks did a fantastic job of getting some teams in here. And we've talked about the efforts by KMAX Sports, this beautiful facility just built recently.
$8.8 million complex at Truman Bodden Sports Complex. John Gray Gym is where we're hooping it up. It's really got everything, though. You got steel drums, slam dunks.
Well, you have mentioned the barbecue yet? That has been outstanding.
The barbecue, the jerk chicken. Fantastic dining in Georgetown on Grand Cayman Island. Under 5 to go here in the second half. Akagorski has it taken away by Evans III. Jacob Evans III to the rim, missed the layup, got his own tip in.
I'm not sure if Clark got that or Evans. There's 2 white jerseys up on the rim. Mick Cronin still coaching. 4:20 left. His team up comfortably, but he is coaching every possession at the defensive end.
Foul goes on Jacob Evans. Cincinnati after this Cayman Islands Classic. A Monday contest against Alabama State, then at Xavier.
Boy, crosstown rival there against Xavier, also nationally ranked.
Then against Florida. That's part of the Never Forget Tribute Classic at the Prudential Center.
And a little trip to UCLA to take on the Bruins. Mick Cronin loading up the schedule for this 12th ranked Cincinnati Bearcat team.
A 27-point lead for the Bearcats. Wyoming basketball. Here's Herndon to Dalton. Fires the 3. Hits it.
Wyoming's had some success on their OB under plays. We saw Herndon score an OB under. That time Dalton splashes from the top of the key.
He's got 15 points, now had 18 against South Dakota State. Here's Washington to Clark. Clark denied.
Oh, Clark denied at the rim. That does not happen often.
And Redding slow to get up.
Redding, the Washington State transfer. Redshirt junior for the Cowboys.
That'll take us to a media timeout. 3:47. Final break of this basketball game. It's Cincinnati in control, 71-47 in the 2017 Cayman Islands Classic.
We going down the road, hands in the air. People everywhere, love and unity is here. It's that time of year where we don't care. It don't matter where you're from, put your flag in the air and represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love, just one love. And represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love.
Welcome back to Georgetown on Grand Cayman Island. Alongside Kevin Lehman, I am Brad Wells. 12th ranked Cincinnati rolling here in the championship game of the inaugural Cayman Islands Classic. Wyoming basketball. Herndon, a deep 2, no good, and Clark with the rebound.
Clark snares another rebound. That would be his 5th to go along with 17 points.
Clark a double-double machine, 20 on his career, but tonight Kyle Washington.
Well, he's been outstanding. Every loose ball Kyle Washington has went and gotten it. Clark trying to keep that alive.
Adams with a nice save. There's a steal by Broom. Kane Broom, watch him do his thing.
Broom with another theft, his 2nd, and that would be the 8th steal for the Bearcats.
Wanted him to put on a little show there.
And 21st point off turnovers. Cincinnati.
Clark goes straight up. Comes away with the rebound. Jacob Evans handling the ball up top, guarded by Kelly. Washington, the deep 2. Adding to his day, 16 and 11 now.
Ringing up for Kyle Washington. Another stat sheet stuffer.
Foul on Broom. And Adams to the free throw line. Substitutions for Cincinnati, Gary Clark and Kyle Washington exit stage left.
Huge hand from the Cincinnati faithful. Both with outstanding performances today. Kyle Washington with a double-double. Gary Clark scoring the first 13 of the 15 for Cincinnati. Clark finishing with 17 on the night.
Broom to Williams. Williams slashes into the lane. Shot clock violation. And Wyoming takes over. And Moore comes in, and Jacob Evans checks out. Evans, 10 points, 5 assists.
And Evans is showing the ability to start the offense at the point guard position.
Maldonado with the shot. Foul on Moore.
Well, Hayden Dalton shook loose a little bit for 15 points for the Cowboys. Alan Herndon with 12. Lewis Adams, some big hoops. A power slam by Lewis Adams. He has 12 for the Cowboys.
Second free throw no good for Maldonado. Under a minute 30 left here. 12th ranked Cincinnati about to officially claim the inaugural Cayman Islands Classic title. Trevor Moore, turnaround jumper. There's the follow by Broom. And substitutions coming in for Wyoming. Sam Averbuck, the 6'4 sophomore. Also into the game, Broderick's Jones. And for Cincinnati, Jackson Bart and Sam Martin. The end of the lineup.
Sam Martin, one of the crowd favorites, able to get on the board in yesterday's game. A win over Richmond.
There's a three-point basket. That's Jones for Wyoming. A transfer from UTEP out of Los Angeles, California.
And the first time we've seen Jordan Naughton, number 33, in for the Wyoming Cowboys in this tournament.
This is Elio Sosame. Sosame goes to the free throw line. Foul goes on Naughton. So we have our all-tournament team, and Jacob Evans, Gary Clark, side by side. Kevin? Two good ones for the Bearcats that have had 3 great days.
Well, Gary Clark, Defensive Player of the Year last year in the American Conference, but showing his offensive skills tonight as they went to him early and often. And Kyle Washington, the double-double machine, preseason all-conference selection also in the American. Last year was 78 offensive rebounds and attacked the glass again tonight for the Bearcats.
It's a foul on Martin. Sends Kelly to the free throw line. 23 seconds on the clock. And Gary Clark, 17 points. Jacob Evans, 10 points, 5 assists tonight. But Evans, 9 points against Buffalo, 12 points against Richmond. Kelly gets them both, Cincy by 25. And Sam Martin instructed to dribble it out. So here's a steal by Kelly, and he'll dribble the clock out. Final score, Cincinnati 78, Wyoming 53. It's the 12th ranked Bearcats winning the inaugural Cayman Islands Classic on Grand Cayman Islands. 3 days, 3 wins for Cincinnati. Started with a 73-67 victory over Buffalo. And they ripped the Richmond Spiders apart on Tuesday, and today, 25-point win over the Wyoming Cowboys. On the all-tournament team for Cincinnati, Gary Clark and Jacob Evans. For Wyoming, Hayden Dalton and Lewis Adams. On the Cayman Islands Classic all-tournament team. And Mick Cronin adds another regular season tournament title to his resume. And now he's standing by with our own Kevin Lehman. Kevin with Coach Cronin. Take it away, Kevin.
Here I'm here with Mick Cronin of the Cincinnati Bearcats. Mick, the championship of the Cayman Island Classic, how do you feel about that?
First of all, the Cayman Islands Classics is going to be an awesome tournament. It's an honor to be here in the first year. The island's beautiful. The hospitality's unreal. From the minute we got off the plane with easy customs, everybody just trying to make this a great experience. So we're thankful to everybody here. Obviously, it's great to win a tournament. Great to win a championship. I don't care which one it is. You'd rather win it in April, but it's a good start. You know, you practice winning 3 in a row. You really have to focus as a group, especially with the fun in the sun. You know, our guys did a great job on the 3 game days of really preparing. You saw we got better defensively as the tournament went on.
I was going to ask you, what do you feel you had the most improvement? We know you did it in the defensive end. How about your offense in this 3 days?
Well, you know, we don't turn the ball over. We got guys can shoot. We got guys can score inside. You know, Gary Clark's probably an All-American. So we got plenty of talent. We just got to take care of the ball a little bit better. We're a little sloppy with the ball. But I really thought our half-court defense got better as the tournament went on, and it's going to need to as our road gets really rough in December.
Well, how have your student athletes enjoyed this experience here at the Cayman Islands?
Well, I think they all wish we'd had a few more days like Sunday where they were all out in the, in the ocean. The Seafire's unbelievable hotel, but just, I can't imagine a better place to be able to bring your fans. And like I said, we'll be back in 4 years if we're invited. We'd come every year if we could.
Well, Coach, congratulations on your championship.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Brad.
All right, hey, thank you very much, Kevin. And there you see the Cincinnati Bearcats with the championship banner, championship T-shirt, as they win the 2017 Cayman Islands Classic 78-53. Final stats from this game today. Double-double from Kyle Washington for Cincinnati, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Gary Clark led all scorers with 17 points. And Jacob Evans and Kane Broom each in double figures. Hayden Dalton led the way for the Cowboys, 15 points. And Lewis Adams, along with Alan Herndon, each with 12 points. But Cincinnati shot the ball well, got high percentage shots, 50% from the floor. And they are the 2017 Cayman Islands champions. Take a look at the schedule for Cincinnati now, what lies ahead. Talk about winning a championship in November. Now you take that. Got some road games, some tough home games coming up.
Alabama State next on the schedule. Chance to enjoy a little bit of the sun tomorrow. And then that big rivalry game against Xavier. The battle for the championship in Cincinnati. And then Florida also at home. Mississippi State, UCLA. This is a nice schedule that Mick Cronin has put together to challenge this team who's ranked number 12 in the country. We may see them go up on Monday when the polls come out.
All right, Cincinnati improves to 5-0. Wyoming, their first loss of the season. But 12th ranked Cincinnati flexes their muscles. They are the 2017 Cayman Islands Classic champions.